Hey guys, come back to you with another video, and today's video we are continuing the top 5 series of each lane, and today we're doing support, as you can tell by the title, but not to introduce it, because why not. Next in the list, it's going to be ADC, mid, and then jungle, and then yeah, that'll be it, and I'm excited for this. And then my favorites at the end of each lane. There'll be some favorites I'm not including. Some favorites are going to pop up from ones that don't show up in this series just because that's the way I'm going to put them on here. Because here I'm putting based off the tier list and then off their kit, right, slightly. But there's some I'm going to put on here. So in the following weeks, guys, be looking for the great content coming here to the channel. Because this Friday is going to be really interesting. So I'm excited. I've been working on for a little while. And I'm going to try something new with League for it. And it was pretty fun, actually, gathering the gameplay for this. So make sure you subscribe, guys, and you have the channel. And you have the notifications turned on for the channel. So you can get an alert to the great content and be part of the notification gang. So there's that. And then stay up to date with the great content. And then today's top 5 is going to be based off this tier list again. You're going to see, well, and that's what I showed you for the top, but I'm going to show you the support side for it. So let's get into the top 5, guys. So, number 5, guys. I'm putting Morgana here at the number 5 spot because of her root. And then, from what I noticed, she is a really viable no-E-Nos, and she can be rotated to other positions. And I assume she's pretty viable at high E-Nos if you're not a player well enough. And she's pretty easy to just pick up and play because her kit's simple enough to learn to pick up and play, but also has some depth where it can be a skill gap to doing it. So, guys, she also has her spell shield, which is one good thing. Because you can block an engage from like a Nautilus or Blitzcrank if you shield yourself or an ally. That's one of the good things. She also has some good CC, which is her root. And then her R is also some really good CC. And then her ultimate is pretty good, guys, because of how it attaches to 2 targets or to 1 target at a range, and then 3 seconds after it slows them. Well, root, it stuns them and then slows them after. So there can be a pretty good one. Ultimate, just make sure people don't get away in team fights. So yeah, that's it, guys. Now on to number 4. So coming in at the number 4 spot is Nautilus. So I'm giving Nautilus the number 4 spot, guys, because I'm a Nautilus main, but I'm basing it on the tier chart that I presented in the beginning of the video, and then in the current meta, he's pretty good, but there's so many other supports that can be really influential. Nautilus, he's pretty influential support, don't get me wrong, because of his CC, because he has 3 CCs, which is his Q, his passive, and then his R. And then you can also build AP, or you can build AP with Nautilus, and you can be really strong with that also, so that's something that you could also do. And then he can flip games, as I said, guys, in team fights, because he can go in and just start tanking and making sure the enemy team doesn't damage. You can start rooting them, you can knock them up with your R, pull people in, because I've pulled plenty of misfortunes out of ultimates. I've pulled other characters out of ultimates, like a Vel'Koz. I've done that before. So, and then another reason I'm putting him here, guys, is because of how hooks can be really unforgiving with Nautilus. Because if once you go in for some hooks, his hooks pull you toward that wherever you landed the hook when you landed it. So you could go into some situations you might not want to, and you could potentially get punished for it, end up having to back, waste summoners, some summoner spells, maybe wasting ultimate, having any of them having to back because you got your health drained. So his hooks can be pretty forgiving. Can be very, very punishing if you go in on wrong hooks, and I've witnessed it plenty of times. So that's why I'm putting him here at the number 4 spot. Now onto the number 3 spot, guys. So now onto number 3, guys, Soraka. So I'm putting Soraka here, guys, at the number 3 spot because of her ultimate and her R can flip team fight, because what it does is I think the term's called a global ultimate, or it affects the whole map. You heal your whole team, and if you have proper items, your heal could be pretty influential. You could flip some team fights. If your team's about to die, just press an R, and the other team's being like, what happened? Because I've seen that happen plenty of times, because back in think it was either January or February when I started taking League more serious and like kind of turned into my main game, because at that point I was trying to hit Mastery 7 with Vel'Koz and I was playing other supports trying to get good with them at the time. Soraka, I noticed, could flip some team fights and it could piss the other team off when they realize like, oh okay, the healing. And then you can also go build damage with her Q and her E, but why I'm putting her in her CC is really good, guys, because it's her, I think it's her E root puts a circle, and then when it expires, it roots a person, and you can chunk an area out of the map. Let's say you're getting pushed, or you want to cut an area off, force somebody out of an area, put it there, and then like, okay, probably you don't want to get rooted so they can move out. You could potentially get a pick off it. So it can be really good, guys. So now, we're going to the number 2 spot. So now, guys, on to the number 2 spot, and that's Thresh. We're getting down here to the list, and I'm going to take a quick break, guys. Just tell you make sure to subscribe to the channel and you have notifications on to when we put out the great content here in the channel. And I'm going to say this here. Comment who you think should have probably been on the list, or should have placed someone, as I said, higher or lower on the list. So, but Thresh, so I'm putting him here because of how his kit can be used as an engage or a disengage. And this is because of how he can help an ally get away. If you toss your lantern, they grab onto it and they go to you. You can get away with that because not Thresh, you can build him as a tank or damage, but you mainly see him as a tank if he's support, and it can help get away from a situation. And then you also can, and his E, because it can also knock somebody up briefly, but it's sometimes enough to get away. And you can also use your R because it slows them and it does damage to them. So maybe they get a little aggro, knowing that they're chasing you, and your R, they might walk through a few of the walls and take some damage, and you might be able to flip a situation like that. And then his Q, which is his hook, can be really forgiving, because once you hook onto someone, you have to press Q again to go in on them. And then it's like, maybe going on the hook's like, oh, this isn't that smart, so you just kind of walk away, and the hook won't go in on them. And that's one of the good things about Thresh. His hooks can be really forgiving, and his R can be useful, because you might go in on someone, like maybe a squishing, and you jump on them. You can use that also to engage on team fights, and use the R as a center to take someone basically to a 1v1, knowing they're going to probably get picked off, more than likely, if your team does enough damage. So, guys, now on to the number 1 spot. Number 1, Nami. So I'm going to put her at the number 1 spot, guys, because of her heal, which can heal and then bounce back and forth between allies and enemies. And then if you have the proper cooldown items and the proper support healing items, she can be really good. And with the cooldown quick enough, if you have the proper items, you can just heal your allies really quickly, guys. And then you can also lose a little bit of damage to the enemies. And then her R can also be used as an engage or disengage, because let's say you are the enemies, you're running, you're on the back foot as Nami, you might R to maybe potentially guarantee the ability to run away because it locks them up. Or you can also use it knowing your team. Maybe your team's a bit stronger and it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to use the R. My team's going in on this team fight, and we're going to win this, or we're going to pick this team fight that might be the game-deciding team fight. Her R can be used like that. And then she has some other abilities which in turn can be really beneficial as a support, as a mage support, if I'm going to put it that way. So, guys, and then her R also boosts the movement speed. If you hit allies with your ultimate, it boosts your passive, in which basically doubles their movement speed. So, guys, that is all we have for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and then comment who you thought should be on the list, guys, or who I should have put higher or lower or whatever, and I'll respond to your comments as usual, guys. As always, make sure you are subscribed and you have the notifications on to be alerted to the great content we have here. And then make sure you guys stay safe, leave a like, and you stay on that grind. Until next time, peace.
glad that the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but DC where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And for quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business is humongous, you would think that happens in there.